Hello, everyone. Today we are going to learn about shading the cube. In order to learn about shading a cube or any object whatsoever, we must learn a few important elements that are involved with shading the cube. One is your light source. Where is the light coming from when you shade your cube? Because where the light is coming from in any situation is going to determine where the shadow is and what part of your cube is going to be light. The next thing we have to worry about is shading, because shading makes parts of the cube dark, and since if there's a light shining on the cube, part of it is going to be light and the other part is going to be dark depending on where the light is. This shading also makes objects appear three-dimensional on a flat surface. So, like perspective, shading makes things that you draw look more 3D. The next thing we have to worry about are light, medium, and dark values, because you will shade a light value, a medium value, and dark value while doing this exercise. So, I'm going to get a little help here. We're going to complete this exercise by drawing a cube in each box. So we're going to move on to a blank worksheet. This is an example of what your work is going to look like when you are finished. The stars here represent where the light is shining on your cube. So first, let's draw some cubes. Okay, move over. Okay, and I'm going to just quickly draw some cubes, and I'm going to try to keep it in the center. So I just want to mark so I keep it in the center of my box. So what I start off with a line, step one. Then I start off with two parallel lines. Over, and I make sure these lines are parallel. And then I complete this side. I have one rectangle here. If it's a rectangle or square, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that these lines are always parallel, that you're always using parallel lines. Lines that are parallel to each other going in the same angle. So I just check that. Then I draw two parallel lines going this way. Boom, boom. And I draw another line that's parallel to this line going this way. Boom. Now, I have to draw the sides of my cube, so I have to make sure that this line is parallel to the back of my cube. So I just draw a line going this way, and I make sure this is parallel. This goes up and down. This goes up and down. Done. So I start off here, then I go over here. I got to make sure this line is parallel, and I notice that I have to fix this line, so I'm going to fix this line. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So parallel lines, done. All right, I have my cube. So again, all I did was 1, 2 parallel lines, 3, to finish off the side of the cube, and then I drew 2 parallel lines going here, 1, 2, down, and then I finish off the cube with parallel lines going this way. Okay, then we're done. Now, I've got to shade in my cube. If the light is going from this way, then that means that this is going to be the lightest area. The side of the cube furthest away from the light is going to be the darkest area. Now, I have these two sides left, so this one seems a little further away, so this one's going to be my dark, so I'm going to write D for dark. And then over here, it's going to be the medium. So let me shade. So I'll leave this light because I don't have to worry too much about this because it's going to be light. But let me first shade my medium values. And I'm going to use my hatching method like this. And I go back and I see if there's any spaces in between. And now I have a nice medium tone. Now what if I want to make a darker tone? Well, a couple things I have to do. Over here, because I know over here it has to be darker because it's furthest away from the light. The light is in the top left-hand corner, so it's hitting the top of my cube. It's not hitting so much the sides of the cube, it's just hitting the top, and it's at the left. So the right side has to be dark, and the bottom half has to be dark. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to press a little harder here. But this is my dark value, so I have to make sure it's a little darker. I'm going to go over it again. Until it's really dark enough. Voila, I'm done. Now I know that this over here might get a little light, so I'm just gonna add a little light value over there, very light, and I'm done. That's all you have to do. Every single picture has a light source. Anything, anywhere you are, there's a light source. There's a light source in a room. In art, we add light sources to show depth. So for example, over here, if I look at this picture, where's the light source coming from? Well, I see that first of all, the left side is very light, and I also see that the tops over here are also light. So I'm going to say that's coming from the top left side on this picture. I can tell just by the way that light is, the objects are absorbing the light, because I see that the light is only hitting certain parts of the objects. That's how I know where the light source is coming from. So where's the light? Same with here. Where's the light source coming from? Well, even if I didn't see this light here, I could tell that it's from the middle left. Now, it could come from the top, it could come from the bottom, but I can tell it's coming from the middle left because look where the lightest part of the object is. So just always look for where the lightest part is. Here, no light source. Where's it coming from? Is it coming from the left? Well, it's kind of dark on the left, so it's probably coming from the right somewhere. Maybe I would say probably the middle to high right, because I do see some of the tops are light, but there's some tops that are also a little dark. So I'm going to say more the middle right. So depending on where you see the lightest part is depending on, it shows us where the light source is coming from. So we are going to draw cubes with light sources. So we're going to continue to draw this. And I want to make sure you guys remember that every time you draw the cube, you follow the same exact steps. This star is going to be where your light's coming from. So same cube as last time. We're going to try to center it again. Just want to make sure it's center. Okay. And then I'm going to draw this line, two parallel lines. I'm going to draw a line parallel to this side. Then I'm going to draw two parallel lines going this way. Remember, these lines have to be at the same angle. They have to be parallel. They have to be moving in the same direction, because parallel lines are lines that move in the same direction. Same thing here. And then I'm going to end it. This line is parallel to this line, and this line is parallel to this line. Okay, done. Light's coming from here. I know that this area over here has to be the lightest. And then this over here is going to be my medium, and this is going to be my darkest. So, quickly, hatching technique, line after line, hatching. I get over, if I see that there's areas that I missed, okay, I go over it, but I still use the hatching technique, hatch. This is a medium. I have to go light over here, hatch. Remember, the hatching technique is just like this. That's all the hatching technique is. And then over here, it's going to be a little lighter. Just going to add a little bit of shadow there. That's it. Not much, because it's not that much. It's mostly just the light. Okay. So remember, again, you must have a light, a medium, and a dark. Okay? And this is going to make everything stand out more. See how the shadow brings out the object off the page. It's going to create the illusion of three-dimensionality. Okay? Give it a try.